Would you believe it's nearly June? Anytime the summer wants to start, anytime now, anytime would be great. Oh, hello! Welcome back. For those of you who are new here, welcome back to another episode. And in this episode, I am going to attempt to completely dismantle, strip down and rebuild a Volvo Penta D2-55 raw water pump. And for those of you who are new here, let me just caveat this video by saying the following. I am a mechanical ignoramus. Yeah, I said it. But it's true. I have no mechanical skills or background whatsoever, and the thesis of this channel has kind of evolved into a, can we do it with the help of social media, YouTube? Can we pull off these jobs that otherwise would be impossible? I'm going to put some links in the description of where I get all the bits from to tackle these jobs, because we're going to do an entire fairly heavy duty engine maintenance servicing this year. I'm going to go slightly deeper than just a kind of regular service, but all the bits and pieces I get from a site called Parts for Engines. I'll whack the link in the description. Not affiliated with them at all, just again sharing the journey really. If you know where you can get them cheaper, let me know. Pop a link in the comments. But yeah, Parts for Engines, I've got a whole load of bits, but today, as I say, one of those packages is a raw water pump rebuild kit, which I'm going to attempt to do with the help, a lot of help, from some YouTube videos. Let's see if I can do it. But before we do, let's have a look at the Aladdin's cave of bits and pieces that arrived from Parts for Engines. Let's go check it out.
What we got?
I think the antidote to all of our woes, all of our engine woes anyway, or most of them, hopefully. Gaskets. We've got lots of gaskets, but the one we really want is the rocker cover gasket, because that seems to be leaking some oil. A new belt, so this is our alternator belt. Antifreeze and coolant. This is our raw water pump rebuild kit, because right at the end of the season, as we were pulling into pool last year, we noticed right behind the pump there was like water sort of squirting out, so there could be a seal gone, and some of the guys in the comments said just if you can replace the pump, or if not, rebuild the pump. And so I'm going to try rebuilding the pump. So, ooh, new air filter. So we've got a nice more fit, because the one we've got is like a sponge, and although if you replace it every year it shouldn't break up, but apparently this one you can clean it every year and then just take it, rather than continuously replacing them, so less waste. The kit, this is the new exhaust elbow. Shiny. So we've got a whole bunch we've got some oil filters, we've got some fuel filters. Obviously we stocked up on them last time when we were having all sorts of engine problems. So the engine will get a full service. We're planning to clean the heat exchanger, put a new stainless steel exhaust elbow on it, and change a rocker cover gasket. And so she'll be hopefully all tickety-boo. And then hopefully our boat engine will be bulletproof. That's the goal.
I hope so.
Auxiliary power. I mean, I know we're going to be sailors first, but I just want to know that if like break in case of emergency, we need to call upon it, boom, she'll just start first time, and we need not worry about something going wrong. Yep. That's pretty bold hope, really.
After last season's sailing.
All right, there's our bits. So I am going to go and start. So some of you may remember that we actually, towards the end of the season last year, we had a load of water squirting from the very back of our raw water pump, which suggested that an oil seal had gone. So today I've bought a pump rebuild kit from Parts for Engines, and I'm going to try my damnedest to rebuild this. Now, this isn't really my wheelhouse, kind of engineering work or mechanical work, so I'm not going to make this a how-to video, but I am going to share with you where I've gone to try and get the knowledge to tackle this. There's a sailing channel called SV Impavidus, I hope I pronounced that one correctly, and these guys have loads of great content for mechanical work and DIY boat work, anything electrical, mechanical, and they have a video on there about how to rebuild the raw water pump, and I basically just watched that and I'm following along. Well, I'm going to try and follow along, so see how it goes. Right, so these are the bits. These are the cams. We've got some seals, base plate, some liquid, and some O-rings. How hard can it be? So the first thing I want to do is get rid of the water as best I can from the system. So I need to break the vacuum. So the stopcock is open. Alright, there goes all the water. Now the water is gone, we need to close the stopcock. Okie doke. We need to stop removing these hoses. This raw water pipe, after it comes out of the pump, is proving very difficult to get off. I don't want to split it, so I'm thinking about removing the pump body itself and then hopefully getting a better angle where I can actually twist the pipe off. Yeah. That's 3. A little bit of oil here. Just clean that up. So I haven't actually refilled the oil yet from the oil change the other day, so just because obviously I was going to do this job right afterwards. Nasty. Oh. Stick a screwdriver down here and sort of gently try and lever it away, break the seal without splitting the hose is my sincerest hope and my goal. Okay, finally. Stubborn little boot. There we go, there is the freshwater pump, and I'm assuming there's the O-ring there, but just behind here, can't quite see it yet, is the seal, the sort of shaft seal for the oil seal, and I assume these are the new ones. So it's now, let's see how difficult it is to come apart. First things first, I need to reconsult Impavadus because I can't quite remember what exactly we do next. I just want to make sure I don't get it wrong.
But I don't know, if you put too much pressure on that O-ring, what you'll actually do is wear the shaft.
Yeah.
You'll wear a groove in the shaft, and the centre nut pushes on the shaft, and that's the new shaft there, and it's tapered. There's no spline on it, or keyway. It's just tapered, so it's.
Okay. Seems to have come off without any incident. Piece number 4. We need to remove this seal, for which I had to buy some special nose clip type pliers. I'm not entirely sure what their technical name is. They're funny pliers.
So this is really the only way I can do it. I guess there's a special tool that does this.
I need to get some help. The bearings. I just couldn't get the bearings off the shaft at all. So I've gone to see Gary down the way. Just going to grab some tools. We're halfway through getting them off, but it's no easy feat. Had a tiny bit of an issue in that, so I've been watching Impavadus's videos and we didn't have a circlip to take off. There was just just this seal, and I couldn't get the shaft out. You know, I was trying to give it like a little whack, just sort of trying to push it through. And then I sought some help. One of the guys in the yard said, well, you might have a circlip underneath this, so try sort of buckling this down, pulling it out, as long as you've got new seals already, and then you'll probably find the circlip in there, which you'll then need to. And that's where we are. So Gary in the yard gave me a hand. Cheers for that, Gary. That bit wasn't me. Okay, so now this is all pretty much come apart. We've got some calcium sort of build up and deposits here. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to boil the kettle and fill this up, and now I've taken all the seals and gaskets and the sort of O-rings and whatnot off of it. I'm just going to plonk it in some boiling water for a little while and allow the boiling water to sort of dissolve the salt crystals, and then give it a wipe down. And then I'm going to use some really fine emery paper, like some 1000 grit, 1500 grit, and just clean the last of those bits off, and just try and get, you know, some of this rubbish off of there. Let's see how this one goes. Whilst we're waiting for the kettle to boil, I'm armed with bristle brushes. I'm going to clean up some of this mankiness. The shaft, I needed to call in some reinforcements because the bearings, one of the bearings was really smooth and lovely, and the other bearing had a kind of grinding sensation to it, which meant that it probably wasn't right. But you couldn't just, where I got stuck is the bearings didn't just come off one way or the other. Basically, there's a little circlip just in the middle here, which is difficult to see. And one of the bearings comes off this way and the other one of the bearings comes off that way. So you almost have to sort of prise them apart, which I was shown by Gary. So Gary showed me basically that you just need to prise these apart slightly, and then one of them will push down, take the circlip off, and then the other one will push down, and then put the circlip back. So that circlip also acts as the indicator of where these need to be positionally, and then you push one up to the circlip, the other up to the circlip, and I've just cleaned it all up, and yeah, I think that looks good as new. All the rust has been washed off, all the calcium deposits. And then we've got a new little O-ring here that just goes over the top too. There we are. Okay, let's start putting this thing back together. This is going on. It's hot. Tell Carly. I can't really see, there's lots of sediment in there. That looks the colour it was meant to be. A little bit of grease. Alright, just gonna get that little seal pushed in evenly there. Now we've got that seal in. This was the old plate, and our kit comes with a new one, so you can just pop that in there. Pop the new, well, the old shaft with the new bearings back in. That feels good, it's nice and tight. These are the ones. And that just goes in there, and it's going to tuck just underneath. There's a little lip in there. Again, you can't see it. It's just on top of where the bearing sits. Take the new seal. Again, I'm just gonna put a little bit of grease on it. The depression faces up. This little split washer, and then the nut. And I believe Impavidus suggested a little bit of Loctite for this. Okay, that moves nice and smooth. Now the actual impeller. So we have a new impeller. Just put the new O-ring in place. Just set that with a little bit of grease, and then we've got the new impeller. We're just going to lubricate this up as well, so it doesn't run dry when you first start it. And then just putting a little bit more lubrication in. And there we go, there's the new impeller. Brand new faceplate as well. Came with the kit, so I may as well use it. We also have some brand new screws. Again, may as well use them. Just making sure that O-ring's still set and hasn't moved. Okie doke. Now I've just got a new O-ring to put over the back. And I think all we need now is a lick of paint. It's ready to go back in. Okay, so we've just screwed the water pump back on, but it hasn't been battle tested yet. That'll only happen once we fire the engine up. But we can't do that yet because whilst the engine oil is drained, I'm going to need to take the rocker cover off, change the rocker cover gasket because we've had some oil leaking from there. And then Gary says to me, well, since you've got the rocker cover gasket off, you should check your valve clearances whilst you're there, which I've got no clue at all how to do that. But that's going to be my next mission in the overall engine bulletproofing major maintenance winterizing. I should write things down before I talk. I think I should come up with a catchy slogan. But nonetheless, bulletproofing the engine. I'm giving it a major service. I'm doing as much as I can to mitigate against any of the problems that we had last time. Meanwhile, for us, as I say, I've got a bunch more chores to get finished. We're at the last stages now of getting the boat sort of tidied up before we get ready to go. And yeah, this cloud of COVID is lifting. If the clouds of Mother Nature could lift too, that would also be good. Anyway, bye for now.